Okay, just left my shop for 10 minutes, came back in, and there's some new sounds here. The hum is coming and going based on the bad connection type. And it's gone at the moment. I mean, it's working. Kinda. All the static crashes are gone. Strong at the end of the band here. Wasn't it opposite last time? Was it weak at the end of the band? There's that hum. You hear that little pop and a hum build up. And now, see that little bzz, bzz, and it went away. Got me. Just leave it running. Okay, so I've just returned to my shop after letting the radio run for about 15 minutes. I went and edited some video, stuff like that, and I've come back. It's got this hum, and I think the other noises are just what it's receiving. So let's tune it a bit. Turn down the volume. There's that hum again. Really affected by the volume control. That's some kind of hint, isn't it? Of course, this hum is in the audio circuit. That's the phono input. So it's in the, something else has happened to create the hum. Hum. Yeah. But you know what? I don't know. I was gonna say, oh, it's lunchtime, but no, not quite yet. Phooey, phooey. Now that does not really sound like a power supply hum to me. Mind you, this is running on its original capacitor. So let's take a look at AC voltage that we can see on the top of the capacitor. Okay. Son of a gun, man. This radio's breaking down as I'm trying to fix it. Maybe that's what's going on here. Pick off the negative. I'm not sticking my fingers in the radio. Yeah, you know, I don't think I can do this with this meter. Oh, there we go. Oh, I'm reading DC. That wasn't very good. Let's try this again. I'm trying to read the AC hum voltage on here. 47. I'm not sure I can do this with this meter either. 0.1. And almost 2 volts there. Well, can it be that the filter capacitor is giving up the ghost while I'm working on the radio? Not terribly likely, but let's give it a test. What I'll do is I'll temporarily connect a large capacitor. There's a 47 microfarad 450 volt capacitor. That'll do it. That should. We just temporarily increase the amount of capacity in the filter, that power supply filter, and if the hum goes away, that'll tell us something. Okay, so negative first. This red wire is the negative. Let's not do that. Let's do the green wire on the negative, you know. So the green wire goes to the ground point. Like sticking my fingers in like that. And now we're going to turn the radio off. Give it a moment. Discharge. Connect the extra capacitor. I don't. So here. Turn on. The reason I do it this way is I really don't want to spark up the capacitor. Well, that hasn't made any difference at all, has it? If anything, it's worse. So you see, that hum is not coming from the, not coming from here. Not coming from there. Oh, I got this. See this capacitor? Let's see if there's any charge in it. There was a little tiny charge. Should leave that shorted for a moment. If you bleed the charge off a large capacitor just by, you know, momentarily shorting it and getting that big spark, you'd be surprised when a few seconds later the voltage reappears on that capacitor. Enough to give you a shock. So, you know, that hum kind of sounds like a leak off of a heater. You know, a heater to cathode short could cause that. Yeah, isn't that something? And in the meantime, so what can we learn from this action of the volume control here? I'm not sure. Leave it running a little bit and study the circuit diagram. See if I can deduce something. Okay, so what I'm going to try here is I'm going to try and with my gloved hand pull out a tube. I know as soon as I pull it out, the heater current stops, the radio will start going dead. There's a moment there where the radio continues to operate, and if the hum doesn't disappear, then I know it's nothing to do with that tube. If the hum disappears, could be that tube. So I'm going to pull that 6BA6 out. Here we go. Listening carefully. And the hum stays. And now I got to put that tube back in. It's not very hot. Wow, I can hold it with my hand. It's not hot at all. Okay. A little too dark there for me to see what I'm doing. Still too dark. Come on. I'm going blind. I'm going blind here. That's what's happening. Okay, now I see I'm way off at trying to put this tube in. The radio should start coming back to life. Once it does, we'll pull out the pull the 12BE6 out. Oh wait a minute, this is in the audio circuit, isn't it? Yeah. Right. In the audio circuit. Well, I could pull the 50C5, but the radio's going to go dead. The 12AT6 appears to be a preamp for the 50C5. I can pull that one out. 12AT. 12AT is right here. Here we go. Ready? And the hum disappeared that time. Okay. So, let's got the power. I gotta get another 12AT6. Let me rummage one up here. Hopefully well, as luck would have it, I have one. 12AT6. Nice clean tube too, so what happened to the bad one? Is that the bad one? 12AV6. So the bad one has gone into my tube collection. I've lost it in there. This is it. It's warm. So that's the bad one there. Put that aside. Actually, well, I won't until I put the other one in and discover that the hum goes away. I won't assume that I've got this right at all. Okay, the radio should start warming up. We'll see what happens. Hard to fix a radio that's breaking down as you're fixing it. Oh, I gotta put some power to it, don't I? Okay, it's heating up properly. Nice big hum. Exactly the same. So this is the tube we just swapped out, made no difference. Ah, boy. Well, right now we're listening to the phono input. Let's put a short on the phono input. That just sounds like a fun thing to do. This shouldn't do anything because the hum is apparent on all bands and settings. Yeah, so that's shorting the input. Doing nothing. Could be the 50C5. No, can't be the 50C5. I pulled the 12 out. Hum went away. So we know the hum is back here. Hum is strongly affected by the volume control. I'm going to go away and think about this for a little bit. There's got to be enough here to chew on. Okay, so we know if we pull the 12AT6 it goes quiet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach a ground basically to the grid on the 12AT6 and see what happens here. So the grid is here. It takes the hum right out. So we know the hum is on the grid. Now, so we know the hum is appearing on the grid here. And the capacitor through to the volume control. We know there's a huge variation as you move the volume control around on this hum. Where would a hum come from, though? I'm just going to keep grounding out these different points. For instance, on the volume control, let's try grounding out this third lead here. That doesn't make much difference, does it? See, that third lead makes no difference right there. I'm going to do something dumb here. If we ground the bottom of the... I don't know where the bottom actually is. B+. Yikes. Be careful with what I ground here. Of course, I'm grounding through a capacitor the way I have this set, so I don't have to worry about... actually, I don't have to worry so much. I'm just grounding out the signal, so let's go at it. We'll ground around the volume control here. Just nothing. Gone. Nothing. So if I ground the center post, so where can the hum be coming from if grounding here and grounding there makes no difference? I mean, one of these is already basically grounded. Okay, so grounding the volume control slider. Once again, we're just grounding the grid to the 12AT. So the signal comes into that volume control. If I'm reading it right, you know, from here. So one wire from the end of the volume control heads to B+, heads over to the tone control. Other side heads for a shielded wire. Yeah, there's the shield. So this shielded wire is the incoming signal. Grounding it does nothing. Open volume control. That's funny. Hey, see that? I just switched it on and off, and look what happened. Yeah, I don't want to ground those. Let's put the ground wire away there. So, explain that. It's gone. It's gone. That's full volume hum. That's not what we were chasing. Somebody please explain something to me here. Oh man, that's just mysterious beyond belief. So just in case you didn't catch what happened here, I hear it popping again. In chasing the hum. That was a little interesting too. That suggested a bit of voltage there. So while I'm chasing the hum. Find the on-off switch seemed to affect it. Can you really have AC leakage from the switch in the back getting into the potentiometer? You know, I guess there's some possibility of that. Maybe the switch was defective initially. I don't know. Whoa, 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 don't do that. Don't do that. I'm gonna poke with plastic. Poke with plastic. Well, boy. Hey, I fixed it. This radio's great. I fixed it 5 times. It's like that guy who smokes cigarettes who says, quitting is easy. I've done it dozens of times. What was that little noise there? What did we just hear? Well, I'm just going to have to let it run again. Let's see if that... Hey, is this thing actually working as a radio now? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, we're just going to have to leave it. Seems to be dropping in volume again right now. I don't know. By now, I think I can hear some of you yelling, it's got to be a resistor. You haven't checked the resistors enough. Okay. If it's a resistor, it'll have to be one like this. I don't think it's even stressed under voltage, this thing. So, here she comes. It's come back to life now. Now it's working full. Oh, you bum of a radio. She is a bum. It's working good now. Fixed. Doesn't this just freak you out? Freaks me out. Well, I'll let it run for a while. And we'll see what happens. Okay, well, it's been about 45 minutes. Radio's been sitting here. No hum. It's back to working again. So, yeah, you problem maker and radio you. So unless the hum comes back, we're gonna have to assume, I think it's working, you know, pretty close to 100%, and we'll do an alignment on it. This time we'll do the RF coils the whole shot, and get it all, get the oscillator set right and everything. See if we can't finish this guy off. That'll also keep it operating for a lot longer yet. So I'm just going to leave it here running some more. Okay, so the radio's been running another 20 minutes or so. No noise. Running along quite nicely, except it has very low output now. So that's full blast, and And I know it's hard to appreciate over a YouTube video how loud that is, but this would be about a normal volume setting right here. You can barely hear it. So this is a lot more than a weak radio station. This is not a weak signal. This is a very strong signal. So I think there is still something going on here. It almost seems like the two things go back and forth. Noisy and loud, or quiet and quiet. I guess is kind of the way to look at it. I don't know. So you know what? I've had this running on limited voltage too. Let's give it the works. Well, that brought the volume up a little bit. Oop. Still not where it should be. Let me just throw this on the AM band here for a minute. The AM band is just kind of always noisy. There, you can see I have to... When the radio's working well, I barely turn the volume up to hear the noise. I turn it, that's full blast on the AM, so there's no question that the signal's gone low. So perhaps the failing component, whatever it is now stuck in a particular mode which is restricting the volume of the radio, be it a resistor or a capacitor or whatever. And on other circumstances, it's not so completely failed. It allows for better partial operation of the radio. Could be any one of those parts. And the mystery hum is just gone. And maybe these are facets of the same thing again. I don't know. We'll just keep it operating here. Okay, I was just sitting in my office, and out of the corner of my ear, I'm sure I heard this thing have like a bloom of hum come through it. Doesn't seem that way now, though, does it? I think like I hear it like it's there, ready to come out. Yeah, it could have been my imagination. That was the AT6 making that sound when I wiggled it. Okay. Leave it running. Okay, it's about 5 minutes since the last time I ran in here, and I'm sure I heard it again. But by the time I get in here, it's gone, and I'm left wondering, why am I imagining this? This is like a haunted radio. Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay, let me sit down here. Line voltage is 123. And okay, let's see if I can poke it to life here. You know how much time I have spent in my life poking at things like this, and it can't be more than 5 times where it's ever actually paid off. But you know, it's a sign of desperation more than anything else. Yeah. No, that's almost full volume there. I mean, that is full volume there. I have it tuned to a quiet spot. I could leave it in a noisier spot. Actually, I think I was listening to something there, and it must have faded away. Hey, is that static? Now that's only shown up since I started tuning. What I'm doing now is I'm just mechanically interfering with the capacitor, the plates, and things like that, just to see if there's any. Just to see if there's any. No, the radio's still quiet. The hum has returned. Okay. Well, I think we understand where the hum's coming from here. It says, or do we? Really? No, we don't. Okay, before I just completely turn into a bowl of jello here, I think we can assume the hum was coming from some kind of bad grounding I had going on here with my signal generator. So, so much for the hum. Now I've got no antenna connected. Wow. Oh, let's think about this for a minute now. So, radio is humming because the signal generator is not connected correctly. Let's just try that a little bit. Let's just fiddle around with that for a second here. Okay, so this is the ground. This is the signal wire going to the antenna. I'm gonna turn the volume down here. We're gonna. There's the hum. Now, whether this is connected or not, the hum is there. So why the hum was coming and going, you know, I have to say a bad clip lead connection right here. But, you know, fat chance on that. But look, it's... Oh yeah. I'm so sorry about that. What? Let's take that off there. Thinking very hard here. Okay, let me plug it. Okay, what just happened? What just happened? Come back to me, radio, please. I didn't do anything. I was just sitting down in my chair. Man alive, you don't want to do this work if you're superstitious, or you'll end up standing on your head in the corner. Okay, I really don't know what happened there. Radio appears to have pretty good volume now. Well, what I was going to do was... That doesn't seem steady at all, does it? Okay, that's an outdoor antenna. Ungrounded. There's a ton of volume. Lots of volume. Grounded. Does this have something to do with the fact that I'm using an isolation transformer? Well, despite the fact I'm using an isolation transformer, I'm going to reverse this plug. Also, before I do that, I'm going to just because I like certainty, take my neon light and just no lighting. Reversed. This should make no difference. But, you know, you can never be too sure. Yeah. Same effect. Whatever that effect is, I don't know. I really don't. Yeah, it's a mysterious world we live in. Boy, oh boy, I've been chasing all kinds of weird ghosts here all this time. The radio's working fine, but the closer I look at it with more, you know, signal generator and stuff like that, the worse it works, because the way I'm hooking the stuff up is introducing problems in itself. Why it is, for some reason, sometimes it hummed, sometimes it didn't. Don't know. I don't know. You'd think as soon as I made that connection, I'd hear that and I'd be the end of that. I don't know. So there's three things I say often. I say guy, I say okay, and I say I don't know. But this is a pretty happy result right now. Really? Yeah, this wants to go back in the cabinet at this point. So what I will do is I will leave it operating. And maybe somebody, maybe you know, why this would hum the way it hummed. And I know it may have to do with the equipment I'm connecting it up to. Maybe I've got some bad stuff happening with my own test equipment. I should really look into that a little bit, perhaps. Don't normally have these kinds of things happen, though. Get on from... Well, you know what? I'm not really grounding it to the best point. Let me ground it to a better point. No hum. No signal. What the heck? Hum. Well, this is where the antenna ground is supposed to connect, right there, right where I'm connecting it. It just knocks the signal right out. So I don't understand why, I've been doing this for years and years and years, and it seems like every time I do this kind of thing, I get another result that doesn't make 100% sense, and doesn't match up with my previous experience, and the universe appears to be changing before my eyes all the time. But I'm just going to leave this running and come back to it in a little while. But I have the feeling it's going to be perfectly stable like this now. See you soon.